friends, 2 time zones, and a shared love of stories.
I'm Freya.
And I'm Jamie.
Bridging time zones 1 chapter at a time.
Welcome to Once Upon a Time Zone.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Once Upon a Time Zone. Today's episode is we're just going to be ranting actually to you guys. Last week we had a little bit of your input and we answered your questions. We are going to be fully ranting to you guys about our favorite ever book characters. And I don't know about Jamie, but I actually found this really hard. I found this a really hard list to make because I will love a character when I'm reading a book, but it takes a lot for a character to stick with me for months to years after reading a book. You know, you read so many characters and then some overlap in your mind. It takes a lot. So I think my list is quite more condensed than Jamie's. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I have a very, very select few characters that really, really are like my soul characters, I guess we'll call them. But yeah, this will be a fun little episode, a bit of a different one.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into it. I think my difficulty is trying to think of main characters that I love. I think most of my characters on my list are secondary characters, and I have just found over the past reading year that I just fall in love with secondary characters a lot easier than main characters. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a thing about me, I guess.
No, I think it's really true. It's really hard to find a really lovable main character. That's why I always struggle with romances and stuff, because I feel like a lot of the time the main characters, like not just like one of them, but usually like the main love interests will just be like, ugh. Like they'll do something and then I'll be like, nope, you're annoying now. I can't unsee it.
I know. It's so much easier for them to become annoying, where secondary characters can do something. I'll be like, I still love you.
Yeah, it's like, it's okay. I know you. I get why you did that.
Exactly.
But of course, before we jump into all of that, Jamie, what are you currently reading? What was that smile? What?
No, I have just been on a journey to Middle-earth.
Oh.
I have been fully immersed in the Lord of the Rings world for, I guess, like almost a week now, because I have been doing my Lord of the Rings reread that I promised myself I would do this year. And I literally am having the time of my life. I don't think I have genuinely enjoyed reading like this much in a long time. And that's saying a lot because I do really enjoy reading like all the time. But I feel like I'm just having this experience that is just on another level with these books. And it's definitely because I already have such a pre-built love for this world. I love the Lord of the Rings movies. The whole universe is just amazing. Like what they have done with this franchise is like, it has to be studied. Like I don't know how they did it. But it was really funny because I jumped into the Fellowship of the Ring, and the first 16 pages are a gigantic info dump concerning hobbits. And I feel like in any other case, I would be like, this is such a slog. Why are we just info dumping history, lore, whatever for the entire 16 first pages of the book? But because it's about hobbits, because we're learning about the foundation of the Shire, I'm like, I love this so much. I was having so much fun reading it. And then from there, it you know, it's such a good journey, but the Fellowship is so whimsical in a way because you're seeing things from hobbits' perspectives, and I was really enjoying how, especially in the beginning, we go from moments of super high stakes of like these creatures are after us and we're about to die, and then the next moment we'll have a hobbit being like, I love mushrooms, when's dinner?
I actually love hobbits so much. I swear they are my soul.
It's the best. And like, I know like a few episodes ago we were talking about how we're like, oh, we both have wanted to be elves, but we're actually hobbits. And now I'm like, I'm so proud to be a hobbit.
Yeah,
this
literally. It's like once you accept it.
It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, I did read The Fellowship, I did read The Two Towers, and I just started The Return of the King today, so.
Oh my gosh,
I'm just in it.
That. I remember The Two Towers. That was like one of my favorite second books in a trilogy I have ever read, because I love the humor in that. Like the kind of little internal conversations Gollum slash Smeagol has with himself are like, it's some of the best writing I've ever read. And it's like, I
Yeah.
remember reading that at like 16 or something, and I was just like, I am laughing out loud. And this isn't even that funny, but like the way he communicates it is hilarious.
Yeah.
I literally love Smeagol slash Gollum as a character.
Such a good character. I also, The Two Towers is really interesting to me too, because when I was younger, when the first time I watched the movie, I thought it was so boring and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was my least favorite, but rewatching it in my adult years, I have gained such a new appreciation for the movie. And then now, yeah, after reading the book, I'm like, why did I ever not like this? It's so interesting. There are so many elements to it. We have Ents, we have, yeah, like Smeagol and Gollum, and the whole switching back and forth, and the whole mental thing with that. And then we have Frodo and Sam's journey, and Merry and Pippin, like coming into their
Merry and
own
Pippin.
and doing their thing. It's so good. It's so good.
Literally, it's just like one of the best. Oh, obviously, it's one of the best trilogies of all time, but just like the intricate details in it and how well thought out every single thing is just crazy. And I feel like you just don't experience that very much anymore. I think the
No.
only things that have kind of come close to me is probably like Brandon Sanderson or something like that. And I've heard people say Pierce Brown as well, but I still can't comment completely on that. But like
You gotta get
the
into
actual,
it.
like the yeah, I've got to get there. The minor details in it that have like so much importance, or just that if you recognize the importance of them, you're like, oh my gosh, wow. Like that's just another layer to this plot. It makes you so happy. I can't explain it.
So happy. And yeah, just so many details. I was actually noticing, I was flipping through my Return of the King, and I noticed because I was like, this is a really thick book compared to the other two. But actually
Mhm.
looking at it, the story's not that long. It's only about 300 pages of a classic. So I feel like 300 pages of a classic is long. But the end, like the second, third, or the last third of the book, I want to say, is all lore. It's all different appendices. It's all information. There's a whole chronological timeline. There are family trees. There's history for every single community and region in the world. It is just, yeah, every single detail is so thought out in this world. It is incredible. It's mind blowing. And yeah, it's like, I don't know if anyone has created a world this detailed and this thought out since Tolkien.
Literally. I know. I remember reading it for the first time actually, and it was like the end, and I kind of went, "What? Like we've got so much more. What?" And then yeah, I kind of just started reading all the fact that there's family trees for even characters that really aren't main characters. They're just kind of there, and you're like,
Yeah.
the fact that you made a family tree and showed us how this person is like kind of related to this hobbit, like
But we need to
is
know. We need to know it all. It's all important.
oh my God. I mean, he created his own language. What on
Yes.
earth?
Yeah, that entire section is like, how did you do this?
I know. It's so crazy. Oh my gosh. What a
Yeah,
reread.
anyways,
What I feel like I want to now.
you should. It's so good. I mean, you're in the middle of the summer, but I would say once you get to winter in
Yeah,
Australia, definitely do it. I am living like my best winter reading life right now. And yeah, I
that's
am
so
filming
true.
it all for a reading vlog, so I will yap about it a lot more in that
I'm
vlog.
excited.
But what are you reading? I think I know what you're reading, right?
Yeah, I am reading Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson, speaking of him. So we're both in
High
crazy high
fantasy.
fantasy moments. I am 200 pages in, I think, which it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't feel like it's been 200 pages. To be honest, like not much has happened, but also it doesn't feel like it's been a slog. Like it's just when I think back to what's happened in those 200 pages compared to like another fantasy book, I'm like, oh wow, like not a lot has happened. This would probably happen in like 4 or 5 chapters in a normal fantasy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I've actually been listening to quite a bit of it on audio because I don't
Mm.
know, I've just been really in my audiobook era at the moment. I think because it's actually nice and warm outside and I want to get out and go for walks and go to the park and
Yeah.
everything like that. Listening to audiobooks while I'm walking is really nice. And you don't get really distracted. If I'm cleaning or doing something else whilst listening to an audiobook, I lose, like, I can't do that, can't multitask. But if you're just walking, it's pretty easy. And the narration for it is actually really good. I've really liked their narration for Patton.
Oh,
It is like this little, I'm not going to do it because we don't want to hear
Please
that.
do
But it's
it.
like this little, I don't think I could. She talks in a way that's kind of like, if that makes sense.
is Pattern a female voice?
It's by a female narrator because she's doing Shallan's point of view. So I think it's like a male voice, but she,
Okay.
you know, yeah.
Got
female
you. Yeah,
narrator.
I heard a male in my head for Pattern.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, female doing a masculine creature's voice. I wouldn't say a person's voice. It's very much like a creature. Like if you could, if a little speck of a creature could talk, it's exactly what I would think it would sound like. And it makes me laugh so much. Talking of like small humorous moments, I feel like Brandon Sanderson does that really well as well, where I was laughing the other day and Austin was like, "Oh, what are you laughing at?" And I read it out to him and he's like, that's not that funny. And I was like, yeah, but in the context and when you know these characters, it's hilarious.
No, yeah, Pattern is funny.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm having a good time. I like so many of our characters. So yeah, hopefully we keep working through it. If I am not reading it by the time we get to next week's episode, I will consider that a win because I'm putting myself on a challenge that I want to read it within 10 days.
So you have, wait, how long is your copy? Because I know your copy is a little different than mine in terms of page count.
It's 1,360, I think. So almost.
I think that was the same as mine. So you have...
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's the first time they're being pretty similar.
Okay.
Because
well, yeah, because in my edition, they shrunk the font. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And also, like, the pages are so thin in this. Like, they're like, I feel like I could rip them. I'm so terrified.
Okay, so you have over 1,000 pages to read before next week. Can you do it? Do we believe in Freya, guys?
Well,
I believe in you.
I feel like, yeah, it's like what? A bit over like 200 average a day?
Yeah.
Maybe?
You can do it.
I think
if
so.
you put your heart into it.
I've got a few nights alone this week. I'm just gonna lock myself down. I'll put my phone on lock and just
That's key.
Okay.
Yeah. The nights alone.
Wish me luck, guys. Should we jump into our favorite characters?
Yeah. Should I go first? Should you go first?
Yeah, I think you should go first because you've got a longer list than I do.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Well, I do want to give, this is at the bottom of my list, but I just want to quickly shout out Samwise Gamgee because he's on the top of my mind right now. No one deserves a Sam. No one deserves
is the
a
most
Sam.
wholesome character. He is so cute. And I feel like in the third book, it just keeps getting better as well. You just want to like give him a big hug.
I'm so excited to read third book Samwise Gamgee. I will say, though, I feel like in the movies... Okay, I'm going on another Lord of the Rings rant. But in the movies, Frodo really, truly did not deserve Sam. But in the books, Frodo at least deserves Sam a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. He's really temperamental in the movies.
He is. And he... Oh, okay, well, I don't know if we can spoil... Does it count as spoilers if we spoil Lord of the Rings? Because, like...
I don't know, because, like, surely everyone's at least watched the movies.
Yeah.
I hope.
Like
if you haven't watched the movies, what are you doing? Like,
go do it.
Stop this and go put it on.
Yeah, stop listening to us. We're a waste of your time at this point if you haven't watched Lord of the Rings. My vlog is not spoiler-free. It is containing spoilers.
Yeah.
But, so
good.
yeah. Yeah, I talk a little bit more about that in my vlog. But yeah, Samwise Gamgee. But my first actual, like, non-Lord of the Rings character, I guess, is Shep from Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. I'm throwing a little contemporary romance into the mix because I feel like I haven't really talked about romances too often lately. But Ready or Not, I feel like I have talked quite a bit about it last year, but it's a romance that I loved. It is a pregnancy trope. But I will say, Shep as the love interest was the love interest that convinced me on Friends to Lovers and showed me that a healthy relationship can work in a romance, and it's not boring to read. It can be very, very rewarding to read, and it doesn't have to be, yeah, like an enemies to lovers or a rivals to lovers. Shep is just that very wonderful golden retriever type of a character. Again, like so healthy. He just showed me that a romance book can show you a healthy relationship, pretty much. And I
That's
love
a
him.
very nice change.
Yes, it is a very nice change. And I think reading about their journey in this one, yeah, like really changed my whole outlook on contemporary romance. And I started to look for different types of contemporary romance that weren't all just, angsty or whatever. And Shep is probably one of my favorite, like, contemporary love interests to this day. So definitely one of my top characters.
Well, there you go. That's kind of a main character,
I guess so. I mean, he's not like
I
the
guess.
protagonist, though. He's
Yeah.
like, he's the main secondary character.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right, my first ones, I'm gonna group together because they're all in the same series and I can't pick a favorite character, and you all know what this is, but Johnny and Shannon and Joey and Aoife from The Voice of Tolkien. Now, I will say I have been getting comments on my like YouTube videos recently saying like they're my favorite comments to get when people are like, I just read Binding 13, now I'm bawling my eyes out. I hate this. I hate this. Thank you for doing this to
No.
me. And I feel so bad that like you're crying, but also I'm so glad you're like emotionally attached to these characters like I am
Mm-hmm.
now. Because truly, like, I don't even know why. Like, why am I so attached to these characters in a rugby? Is it rugby they play? I think it's rugby. Like sports college romance type situation. Like, I don't even know why. But I think they are very flawed. They all have their, you know, things that make them human and things that you can relate to them. I think that's probably one of the things I love most about them. Like
Mm.
they're very relatable. Their annoying qualities make sense. If that like there's one thing that everyone's always like, "Oh, I hate the tiny little girl and really tall guy situation." And
Mm.
when that's really like emphasized about she's always so small, she's so small. But there's a massive reason as to why our character is so small, and you just have to make it like halfway through the book or something. So I like when like even when they have these annoying qualities, it makes sense. Like there's actually backstory, there's enough depth to them that like, oh, it makes sense. I don't know. These characters are amazing. And particularly Aoife, in I think she primarily is in Saving Six and Redeeming Six. She is
Mm-hmm.
like the most headstrong, bubbly, but confident woman, like young woman. And I think that's a really refreshing thing. Like, I think having a really strong, independent girl that also takes care of her partner, like, it's not always him taking care of her.
Mm.
It's like, this is a kind of we both have to put a lot of effort into this relationship, but we love each other so much, so we're going to make it work. It tugs at my heartstrings. So I thought I'd get them out of the way first.
Love
They're
that.
like,
Do you know how many people still comment on my videos saying, "Can you read these books?" Or just like things
I
like, "Well, can you finally just like listen to Freya and read these books, please?"
I'm like kind of terrified because like part of me is like you could really like it, but then part of me is like what if she hates it? That's going to be so embarrassing because this is like my everything series. Like I'm going to be so. But I think you would like it. It takes a bit. Like I didn't love them until the very end of the first book and then once you get more into the series, but it definitely takes a lot.
Hmm.
Also, I feel like you're kind of trauma scarred with them. Like you have this trauma bond to them by the end of the series because yeah, please do not read this if you're under 18. If there's
Mm.
some serious stuff that
Yeah.
goes on.
I do appreciate a trauma bond in the weirdest way.
Mm.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm just
It's
thrown off. I'm thrown off. There are multiple things about it. Like, yeah, the sports thing, wait, is it
yeah.
high school or college?
Yeah, so it's high school, which again puts a lot of people off. But I like can't like reiterate enough that they don't feel like they're in high school. And I think a lot of that is to do with the fact that we're set in the 90s in Ireland, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
young people had to grow up pretty quickly due to circumstances in like just in history
Yeah.
and stuff, but also specifically these characters, they kind of do have to grow up a lot quicker. And I'm like, oh, I kind of wish it was in like college, but also it kind of wouldn't make sense if it was in college. So yeah, it feels weird that they're so young because they don't speak like they're that young. So you kind of put that to the side. There's a lot you have to put to the side, and once you do that, you're good. Like,
But the
just get into
story's
it.
good. Yeah, like behind everything, the
Story's so
story's
good.
good. Okay. I'm not promising anything. I don't own these books in physical yet.
Look, that's better than I'm never gonna read them. That's
Yeah,
a step towards the goal.
we're taking baby steps. I do think I am also just like a little bit scared that I won't like them, and then I'm gonna be like, I don't know what to say. I feel so bad.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I haven't seen too many people who actually continue the series not liking it. I've seen some people read the first book and not like it, but for people who's actually read most of the series, please, actually, I'd be curious if you guys want to comment, like, if you, like, didn't like the series. I'd be actually curious to see, because I may just be on the side of TikTok that's, like, all for Boys of Tommen, but there may be a whole nother group that I'm just not aware of. So then,
Yeah.
and then you might be like, feel a little less alone. Like, oh, I can go into it and not like it. It's okay, which it is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's hear some differing opinions. So if you have any opinion
Yeah.
on the Boys of Tommen, put it in the comments. Can't wait
But
to
keep
see
it
them.
respectful, because if you say something too mean, I will cry.
Yeah, don't make Freya cry, but be honest.
But would love to hear your opinions.
Okay. My next, I have a group of characters as well. So from the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown, Sevro and Ragnar are my two favorite characters in this world. And they both make me feel so happy and also break my heart in so many different ways. And I can't say why, but I will say,
Yeah, I'm there going, okay.
yeah, sure. Both of them are very loyal characters in different ways. So, Ragnar, how can I even describe Ragnar? Very loyal, very like duty bound, but like very holds his vows and values so true to his heart and is just a wonderful character. I'm gonna cry talking about Ragnar. And then I'm getting
This is
emotional.
making me terrified.
And then Sevro is, I feel like Sevro is like a samwise gamgee, but unhinged. An unhinged
Okay.
version where he is, again, like just so loyal to Darrow, the protagonist, the protagonist of the first three books. But he's just wild. He's a wild child. And you will never know what he's thinking, although I do feel like I have gotten to know his character a lot now at this point. But he just does these things that are so unexpected, so unhinged, and some things you'll be like, ugh, why did you do that? But he's so loyal, his heart is so good, and he will do anything to protect the ones he loves. So these two characters are like top tier characters for me.
That's so cute. Okay, that makes me excited actually, that you have like clearly a very emotional attachment to them. That makes me excited.
They will make you also, like, as you're reading the books, you will be terrified, you will be so sad, you will be so scared, you will be so happy. Like, these characters have brought me on a roller coaster of emotions that I have not felt with a lot of characters.
Okay, that's kind of scary.
But it's good. It's good. Also, I'm about to read Dark Age probably at the beginning of February, I'm hoping. And a lot of people have told me that Dark Age is like the most traumatizing Red Rising book. And I'm like, how? How does it get worse than this?
Oh gosh, okay. I actually have seen that. I feel like I'm very much on Red Rising talk, and every time I see something that says spoilers, I just go past. But I have seen a lot of love, I guess you would call it, for that book.
I'm scared. I'm excited. I'm praying for my characters. What's your next one?
Very exciting. My next one is Jesper from The Six of Crows duology by Lee Verdugo. I actually had to stop myself from including like all of these characters, but I was like, no, who actually like tugs on my heartstrings? And again, I guess the side character, Jesper, is probably I felt so much for him during the series because he's very much like the comedic relief of the group. But he also like you learn so much about him throughout the duology, and you kind of realize that he uses like humor as like a coping mechanism of sorts and like a defense mechanism. Um, and I really loved his story. I thought he had such great development throughout it. He brings so much to the group. Like the group as a whole,
Yeah.
like we've got Kaz, Inej. I guess they're the first like traditional three, but both of Kaz and Inej, I love them as well. But they're both very like stoic, serious, get the job done kind of people, which you do need in a crime group. I'm not gonna
Yes.
lie. But I also think it's very important to have a Jesper and have someone so fun and takes it seriously, yet he's very like doesn't take it seriously, sorry, but he's actually really good at what he does. Like, yeah. And again, I think I'm loving flawed characters. I think I love when characters
Yes.
have this imperfect nature about them and I'm like, "Oh, you make sense to me." Like, I like that you're not this incredibly talented. Like you are, but you have these flaws alongside of that. So, yeah, we love Jesper. And I actually
Yeah.
thought the casting for him in the TV series was really good. I really liked that actor. I thought he did a great job. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, he embodied him perfectly. Yeah, I love that type of a character. We need a little comedic relief, but also someone with depth at the same time.
Yeah, it's so, and I feel like you start just liking them because they're like funny, and then yeah, throughout the story you're like, oh, you've got stuff going on. Like I get it, I see you.
Speaking
Yeah,
of that type of a character, I had Finnick from the Hunger Games series on my
that is
list.
such a good one. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and kind of like in a similar vein, I feel like when Finnick is first introduced, he's very much, like a little bit of comedic relief, but then also you kind of hate him. Like you're not really supposed to
Yeah,
like him at first, but he is one of those characters that really grows on you and becomes one of your favorite characters in the entire universe.
so
So
easily.
yeah, like his story is just, it's so emotional. It's so tragic. You feel for him in so many ways. If Suzanne Collins ever does write another Hunger Games installment, I want it to be Finnick's story, but I also kind of don't because that's gonna hurt. That's really gonna
That would
hurt.
be so painful. Oh my God. When I saw that on your list, I was like, why didn't I think of that? Like, Finnick is such a good character to have. Because, yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're right. He's like the perfect amount of like emotional depth, as well as like, yeah, has these like this wit about him. He's very witty. Like, he just
Yes.
has. And then him and Mags, I actually can't. Like,
Yeah.
I actually can't. Every time I think of that, and then I started getting like, especially when I was reading Sunrise on the Reaping, the edits of like all of that, and then of him, and like I was just on Hunger Games
No.
TikTok, and like great place to be, but also brutal place to be because I absolutely could not. So that's a great choice.
Yeah, I remember we were reading Sunrise of the Reaping with my in-person book club, and so we were all reading at the same time and just like dying and crying together. And for, I want to say months after we finished that book, I was still getting like daily TikToks or Instagrams sent to me in my inbox by my in-person book club friends being like, sorry, watch this. And then I would click onto them and I'd be like, why did you send this to me? I am in pain again. I was just starting to get over the pain, and now you have just reminded me of everything. So that's kind
I'm
of
so sorry.
I I hate it. I love it. I love it more than I hate it. So I
Yeah,
love feeling the
I
strong
know
emotions.
it's crazy that we feel such strong emotions from like characters on a piece of paper, even though like the actual live action Finnick, like oh my God, such a good job, so good. Speaking of like great casting, but even just like the book, Finnick has such a strong presence in the book, and it's like you go through those exact same emotions. Like he really is so irritating at the beginning in the book. I remember
Yep.
reading him, and I was like.
I was
He
so
is
annoyed at him.
so oh, I was like, get over yourself. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the book, I was like, I
Yeah.
love you so much.
Those are the best types of characters, the ones that win you over, the ones that you don't like at first, like
Yeah.
truly don't like. And then by the end, you're like, how did I never not like you?
I think one of the best compliments I've gotten is the fact that I people say sometimes I remind them of Annie, like Finnick's love interest.
Oh!
And I was like, stop.
What a
Again, when I think of that, I
compliment.
want to cry. But I'm
Yeah.
like,
Okay, before we
I'm
start
like, you
crying.
probably saw that as a compliment, but I'm like fighting back. The waterworks here.
Yeah. Okay, what's your next one? Because we're
All
getting too
right,
emotional
my
here.
next one. This one is so superficial, and it goes back to like my early reading days. Annabeth from Percy Jackson. Like, I kid you not, the literal reason I loved Annabeth so much was the fact that we finally had a blonde protagonist, like female protagonist or love interest, because I was reading
Oh.
so many, like, urban fantasy, just fantasy YA books when I was younger. And it was and they always had dark, like, curly hair. And I was like, okay, well, I can't picture myself as this main protagonist now because I don't have dark curly hair, clearly. And then I read about Annabeth and they were like, yeah, she had blonde hair. And I just remember being younger and going, fine, like I can see myself in a character. And I feel like that was my first experience of like actually relating to a character. And also, again, very strong female lead. Like she's a very cutthroat kind of character, but also has her soft spots. And I know some people don't like her at all, but I really liked her. And then when we read Heroes of Olympus, which is like the, I don't know, sister brother series, she has a few little appearances in that. So I was like, yes. It was just like it's such a nostalgic series, I guess. But yeah, kind of literally superficial reasons for loving it.
Just because she's blonde.
Literally, I was like, oh, anyway.
Why do people not like her?
I think she doesn't have like a lot of depth to her. Like if I was to reread it now, I don't think I'd find her the most like, relatable. And I think as well, she's very like she's not that funny. She's just kind of your very basic 2010 female love interest, I think. And I mean, that was my first time reading about a female love interest like her, so that was probably why I liked her so much. But if I was to go back, I'd be like, oh, she doesn't have. And I mean, I guess, did you ever watch the movies?
No, I have not
Oh,
participated in a
okay.
single Percy Jackson piece of media ever.
You should.
I know. I missed out on a whole phase. Like, I actually feel left out. And I feel like I missed out.
They're so fun. Like, and also the movies, like the original movies, because I know they've come out with a TV series now, which is very much more true. Like, they're actually 13-year-olds in the movies. The first ones, they're like 17 or 18. But I remember watching them and absolutely loving them. And the actress for Annabeth, I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but she's in the first season of White Lotus. She's got the really piercing blue eyes. If you knew her, if you saw her, sorry, you'd know her. She's like the wife or the newlywed of the asshole.
Oh, yes. Yes, her. Yes, I do know her.
Yeah. She plays Annabeth. And I was like, and she wasn't really blonde. They kind of just dyed her hair blonde, but I was like, whatever, you did a
okay.
good job.
That's okay. They can do that.
But literally, if you want to feel like nostalgic and like feel like you're reading a 2010s fantasy novel, watch the movies because they're so much fun. Like they're so bad, but they're really fun.
Okay. Okay, noted. Should I read the books first, though?
You could try, but they're very YA. I tried to do a reread like a year or two ago, and like they're really YA. So if you feel like it, if you want to read a book in a sitting, go for it.
Okay.
But it's like a 6-book series.
I feel like I could try the first one because I feel like I'm not committing to too much since, as you said, they're short,
just
they're
get it on
YA,
Kindle or something.
they're quick.
Yeah.
Okay, one day.
Anyway,
One day
whole
I'll
rant
try.
was to say I like Annabeth. Anyway, who's your next one?
Okay, so from A Darker Shade of Magic, or I guess the whole series by V.D. Schwab, I have Alucard and Holland. Two very different characters, but Alucard is one of those, again, goes with that type of a jokester type of a character, but then also has a lot going on behind the scenes. And like, I feel like I have a little bit of a crush on Alucard. Let's all be honest here. Love him so much. He's like a
honestly, fair enough.
pirate
Yeah.
captain type of a character and is wonderful. And I do love him with, can I say his love interest? Maybe not. I don't know. And Holland is one of my favorite V.E. Schwab villains that you just love. And I have said this multiple
Literally.
times before, but V.E. Schwab is the best, one of the best at creating interesting villains. And some of those interesting villains you will continue to hate, but they are still interesting. But some of those interesting villains you will actually want to root for. And Holland is one of those characters. And the arc he goes on is so interesting, and the way you can feel bad for him and understand why he is the way he is incredible. The things you find out. He's one of those characters where at first you're like, oh, this guy, he's a villain. He always gets in the way. He's so annoying. And then, yeah, by the end of the series, you're like, I want more. I want like a Holland specific book, like just
Yeah,
Holland,
literally.
because he's gone through some
Yeah.
really interesting things. So, yeah, those two characters, very opposite sides of the spectrum, but love them in the Shades of Magic trilogy.
I feel like Holland kind of reminds me a little bit of Loki, like Norse god,
Oh,
like, or if you've watched any like Marvel, if anyone's listening, like that kind of villain, like that you can't help but love because of their like, oh, just their personality. You're like, you're doing awful things, but also,
I
yeah.
actually don't participate in Marvel. I think the last Marvel movie I watched was Wonder Woman, like over 10 years ago.
I'm
I don't
pretty
even
sure
know how
that's,
long that was.
I'm pretty sure that's DC. I don't think that's Marvel.
Well, goes
The
to
other
show how much
comics,
I
the other
know.
ones. No, honestly, it's more like I was just obsessed with Norse mythology when I was younger. So I used to really like learning about
Yes.
our characters. And then I feel like also though, I love Tom Hiddleston who plays Loki. So I think he does a really great job. So, but yeah, he kind of is like what Holland reminds me of in my mind. I don't know why, but like, yeah, kind of
Ooh.
mischievous, I guess.
Would he be your Holland fan cast?
I don't know. I think it's too similar. I need someone a bit like younger to be Holland.
That's true.
I think, oh, don't even start me on fan casting. Dark Shade Magic. That
Woo,
would be a
maybe next
whole other
episode.
thing.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode. Okay, what is your next one?
Well, kind of speaking, I guess it's kind of villainous. Jax from the Once Upon a Broken Hearts trilogy by Stephanie
Jax.
Garber. Again, I feel like you go on a whole journey with Jax that is just one I don't think I've really like. He's a character that I don't know, I haven't read anything like him before. He starts out as this like, yeah, like this literal villain to our main protagonist, I guess. Like not really to the world, like he's not really a threat to the world, but you know, he like is, you know, makes a deal. If you haven't read the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, at the very beginning, like this is the premise, so no spoilers or anything, but he makes a deal with Evangeline to stop her love of her life marrying, I think it's her sister actually, isn't it? He's like, what you have to give me in return is like 3 kisses whenever I want, wherever I want, and then he turns everyone else to stone. Like, so he starts off at a pretty bad note. You're thinking, okay, this guy like has got some serious issues. But by the end of the first book and then the second book, you
Oh,
just like he wins you over. He's so wonderful. And again, I feel like he has a very witty personality, has this kind of darker side, but then again, you kind of start to understand why he has that as you work through the trilogy. Yeah. I mean, is there anyone who's read the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy who didn't love Jax? That's my question.
I feel like Jax is kind of like that high school crush that you never had.
Yes. So true. So
Just that
true.
vibe of like this is the idea of someone that I want to have a crush on, but they didn't actually exist in high school.
So true. It was like, you know, watching like Vampire Diaries or something. And he's like, you know, like you wanting to like have that kind of person. You're so right.
Yeah,
It's the same
but
vibe. I love that.
it's Jax. And he's getting a new book this year, I think. I think it's this year.
Yeah, I think it said, I tried to find a date, but it just said 2026. So I guess we'll see at some point. That'll be so exciting. I'm so excited to return to the Magnificent North, honestly.
Yes, it's been too long.
All right, what is your next one?
Okay, I actually have a protagonist for my next one. Very different character from all the other ones I've talked about so far, but this is Salama. I am probably pronouncing her name incorrectly, but she is from As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow by Zulfa Katu, which is a very, very emotional historical read. And I found her character to be so interesting because, on one hand, she is a very caring character. So she's very easy to love in that way. She is working as a nurse, volunteering pretty much in a war-torn country. So she's really sacrificing a lot to help others. She also, at the time, has sort of one foot. She wants to leave Syria, but she can't because she has one remaining family member or family friend, I guess, that she needs to stay to take care of. And she also wants to help, take care of the patients at the hospital. But then at the same time, she has PTSD from various things happening. And the way the PTSD was portrayed in this was very interesting. We saw basically a human or a character manifestation inside her head where she would be talking to someone as her coping mechanism. And it was just so interestingly done in the book in that way, where she had, this character kind of like Nightmare in One Dark Window, I want to say,
Yeah.
but more real world and more, I mean, it was kind of a mental health thing in One Dark Window, but
Yeah.
portraying that sort of thing in a real world situation. And I just found her to be so interesting to read about. She is a character that you will connect so deeply with and love. And she's very easy to love because she's very caring and wonderful. And you will
Yeah.
cry while reading this book as well. But
Yeah.
she's a wonderful protagonist. I loved her a lot.
I feel like even when you just put a great protagonist in a situation like that, like in a historical situation like that, it makes it 10 times worse. Like oh my gosh, the trauma.
Yeah.
That's really nice to hear, like the mental health representation and everything in that.
Yeah, it was so creatively done in that way where
Yeah.
you could actually see it in so much detail. So I would recommend As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow as well for anyone who hasn't read it,
Yeah.
including you.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I need to. I actually haven't had too many people review it. I think I've only seen like one or two people read it. So I guess a little bit of a less popular, maybe just in my area. But yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I haven't seen it around too often or too much, but it's very
Yeah.
good.
I won't talk about this next one too long because we've kind of covered this. But two of my other favorite characters are Merry and Pippin from Lord of the Rings. How can you not? Again, I love the character growth that they go on throughout this series because honestly, they start out as these little mischievous guys who just like to ruin a very organized hobbit situation. And by the end of the trilogy, they're like two different people in the best way. Like they still have their core qualities, but they've really grown. And I love them so much. They are truly like, they have some of the funniest lines I think I've ever read in books as well.
They do.
I think some of the best lines ever is like, what about second breakfast? What about third breakfast? Does he know about tea? Like,
Okay. Because I just finished The Two Towers today, gonna be a little vague with plot points here, just in case anyone isn't familiar. But there's this one moment. He gets out. I guess this is actually in the beginning of The Return of the King. But he's gone through so much growth in The Two Towers. In The Return of the King, Pippin enters into this, I guess, new role, you could say. And, he gets an advisor or like a guide to be like, hey, do you have any questions you want to ask me about the city, your new role, where you go, where you do things? And his first question is, so when's breakfast and where can I grab a snack? And basically and then when's second breakfast and then when's, like tea and when's all of this stuff. I'm like, I love that you have gone through so much growth, but you are still so true to yourself. And your first question is about food.
it's so great. I love that hobbits, like their entire day and like routine is oriented around when they're going to eat and what meal they're having next. And they
Yeah.
eat like 7-8 times a day. I love it. It's so much fun. And I feel like also the like back and forth, the banter between these two characters throughout the book is just, again, you kind of need it. Like when Frodo's quite a serious character, Sam is quite a, I don't know, reserved kind of guy at the start. Like he's just got a good little heart. And then Merry and Pippin are just like tagging along and they're just kind of there and back and forth and back and forth and like their brains don't stop working. And I'm like, I love that dynamic.
Yeah, and I love how like all the other characters were like, "Do you know what you're getting yourselves into?" And they're just like, "No, we're just coming." Like, I don't care. We're just coming anyways.
I love them so much. But yeah, they had to make the list, of course.
Yes, yes, we love them. Okay. My next one is also a little bit of a throwback. So, Lena from The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Anne Brashares. Have you read this one? Was this like in your time?
I loved the movies, but I never
Okay.
read the book. Because, yeah, it was kind of like you went to the movies. So, Lena, which one is she, if we're going to cast them? Who
She's
plays
the
her?
one, she's Alexis Bledel, like Rory.
Okay, I thought so. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if it was her or I can't remember what her name was either. There was two I was debating with it, but I thought that was her.
Yeah, The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is a story about four friends they started in high school in the first book and they are about to separate for the summer. And it's kind of their first time apart and they're like, what are we going to do without each other? So at the beginning, they all, I guess, go into this clothing shop, try on the same pair of pants. And these pair of pants should not fit all of them because they're all just very different sizes. Like one is very tall, one is very short. Like there's no way that this pair of pants would be able to fit all of them perfectly, but they do. And so they end up buying these pants and they're like, we're going to be the sisterhood of these traveling pants. And every 2 weeks, we're going to send the pants to the next friend. So everyone gets the pants for 2 weeks in the summer. And it's kind of a coming of age story of these girls and they, yeah, encounter different things, grow in different ways. And Lena as a character was the more introverted character, the more shy character. She had her artistic side, but she was always kind of the underdog. I feel like everyone else was a bit more outspoken and had their passions and all of that going on, and Lena was just sort of like the underdog of the friend group, but then you really see her grow into herself throughout the series. And I feel like she was the first character I read about that was kind of that more reserved, introverted type of character. And so I really enjoyed reading about her when I was younger. And I can't really remember the details because again, this is a book that I read so long ago, but she has kind of stayed in my heart as a character that I love.
That is, yeah. I feel like I loved the story. Again, I haven't read the book, which I kind of want to now. I forgot it was based off a book.
Yeah.
But I do love that all of like these four best friends have such distinctive personalities and they all are really, really different. Yeah, it's kind of like there's someone for everyone to connect to. It's really sweet. I really like it.
Yeah, and you can almost kind of connect to all of them in different ways. Like I feel like Lena I could
Yeah.
connect to because of her quieter side, and then Bridget I could connect to because of the more athletic competitive side.
Yeah.
Tivy was like a film student, or so I could kind of connect in that way. And then we had Carmen, who, I could connect to so many like different other ways
I
in
loved
terms of like
Carmen.
insecurities and, overcoming that and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
you can kind
loved
of
that
find a
they
little
had
bit.
that representation in a
Yes,
2000s book slash movie. Like that was
ahead of its
crazy ahead of
time.
their time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. I really liked Carmen when I was watching it in high school especially. I found myself going back to that movie so many times because I was like, makes you just realize like everyone's human. Everyone has their things that they're going through. And it's nice when
Yeah.
film or books do
Yeah.
that.
Love this series. And like, I don't know if the books would live up, but you could give them a try. I'm sure they're quick reads.
Me as well. All right. My next one, speaking, I guess, of like older characters, Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. I was like, I was like, do I include? Yeah, no, I had to. She was probably my first, like, I don't know, just love in a character. Like, again, a side character. We really don't get her very much in the books or the movies. Like, she's only there a little bit, but I feel like she makes such a strong impact. And I love how weird she is. I love that she is so weird, but also really smart. And people just
Yeah.
like don't think about that fact because she's a bit odd. And I just loved her as a character. I thought she was so, so cool. The kind of reason I was like, do I include this is obviously Harry Potter was like such a, like same with you, such a sentimental series. Of course now, as things have come to light, I no longer want to like be supporting the series, no longer want to be supporting the author because absolutely do not align with anything she believes in. But I don't know, it's hard when they're such core characters in your life and it's like such a a solid series. It's literally the series that got me into reading, and I'm sure so many people as well. But yeah, looking at her objectively, let's just separate it for one quick second. I love her.
Yeah. Yeah. Just as a character of her own.
Yeah. And I feel like she, honestly, I don't see many characters like her in a lot of books. Now and then they'll pop up. I guess it's kind of like the Phoebe in Friends as well. I always loved Phoebe in Friends as well. Like the slightly odd, but their heart is in like the best place and they're so
Yeah.
kind and they're actually really intelligent if you actually listen to them. I love that about it. They're so, I feel like that was when I saw myself in characters because I don't know, I feel like throughout my entire education, actually, not even just in high school, like when I was in primary school as well, when I read about her, I feel like I had these like hyper fixations and I would go on like, that's why I was so obsessed with Harry Potter and stuff. And like I'd have these kind of weird things I would do and stuff. And I'd be like, oh, it's like, it's okay to be a little odd. Like, it's okay. You don't have to be the cool girl.
Yeah. We're not the cool girl. It's fine.
Yeah. And like, I love that I'm not the cool girl now, but
Yeah.
it took for me to read about someone who isn't to realize that.
Yeah. Aw, I love that.
Yeah. Anyway, what is your next one?
Okay, I have a bunch left, but I'm not sure how much time we have left. So I'll list out all of mine and then I'll talk about them. I'll talk about one of them in depth because I think the other ones I have gone over them before. But Anden from Jade City by Fauna Lee. Love him, but I have talked about him. We have Benji from Beartown by Fredrik Backman. Love him, but have talked about him.
I just finished Us Against You.
Oh, yeah, that's the book that made me fall in love with Benji. Are you okay?
That just like ripped open the wound. I like had like
sorry.
gotten over it, and then it was like I wasn't expecting that. Anyway,
Just a casual Benji name drop, just to tear your heart.
literally, that's all you need to do. Anyway, go on.
Sorry. Garrett from The Favorites by Lane Fargo, the only sane, healthy character in that book. The Gargoyle in The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. We love Gargoyle. And Blythe from Belladonna by Adeline Grace, who I think is the one I'm going to talk about. Because the other ones, I have discussed. Blythe in the Belladonna series actually starts out as a secondary character for the first two books. And then in the third book, Wisteria, which is my favorite in the series, she becomes the protagonist. And it's my favorite book in the series, probably because of Blythe, but also because of everything else, like the story, the vibes, the love interest, love it all. But I really loved Blythe because she is, how in romanticises, a lot of authors try and make their female protagonists a little bit spicy, a little bit sassy, a little snarky. Blythe, I feel like, is that, but done in the best way, where she will have these quick little quips. She will at times present herself as this very confident, quick-witted type of a character, but it's in a very realistic way where she's not just that all of the time. Like, she has a lot of vulnerable moments, quieter moments where she's very unsure of herself, but then she will put on this, in some moments. And I found her to just be lovely to read about. I thought she was a very interesting character. I do like her more than the protagonist in the first two books, although I do love them both for different reasons. But I love the way she tackled her story, and it's hard to talk about because it is the third book in a series. But I just love her. Like, she was a very well-balanced character in all of those ways.
That's so nice. I do really want to get into that series, actually. I feel like I've been saving it for, like, I was thinking about it recently, but I want to read it in either, like, autumn/winter, because I feel like it's the perfect read
perfect.
for that time of the year. So yeah, I'm really curious about that, because I've seen some people, like, just grow to love the series, I guess, like you, more and more as, you know, you get later into it. But I've seen some people really not like it, like, get really bored during it. So I'm very curious to what side I'll be on. I hope I love it. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm very curious too. I feel like you'll like it, but who knows?
Yeah. I think I will. I think I will. I love a good, like, atmospheric read, so I think I will. I only had 2 more characters, so I'll just go very quickly over them. Because I feel like I've kind of talked about them anyway. Nikolai from The King of Scars. We have another Grishaverse character. He is like the prince and main protagonist. There we go, main protagonist in the King of Scars duology. I wouldn't read the King of Scars duology if you haven't read at least 6 of Crows. But I would read the entire Grishaverse and then go on to it, because I feel like as a standalone duology, I don't know that it would make too much sense, or you wouldn't be as connected to the characters. But I just love how, I don't know, he's a very charming character. Like, he's a very charming character. He's very witty, he's very reliable and loyal, but also has, like, this really humorous side to him. He's just, like, literally a Prince Charming in my mind. Like, that is what I imagine him as.
You know who we should have put on this list? Camden? Yeah, from The Prison Healer.
Oh my God, yeah.
Wait, Camden?
Yeah, we
What's his
really
name?
should have.
It's Cam something, no?
It's Cam. I'm just thinking of Cam. I always, because don't they call him that?
Yeah, Cam.
Now I'm like, I think, now I'm questioning it.
Does he have a longer name, or is it always just Cam? Oh no, I have forgotten. See,
I
bad
have
at names.
completely forgotten.
Good at characters, bad at names.
It gets hard. There's so many,
Yeah, he's the same. Nikolai's the same. Alucard is the same. They are the same.
Yeah.
The same group.
They're like, just like these charming princes.
Yes.
Like, well, you know, like, we'll just call them Prince Charmings. But, you know, like, this is so, like, off topic, but, you know, in, like, Cinderella in the cartoon, I don't know if you ever, like, I used to really like it when I was younger, but Prince Charming genuinely doesn't have a personality, like, at all.
That's true.
And I was like, if you were going to put a personality to him, I feel like this is what it would be.
Yeah, that's what he should be.
Yeah. And then my last one, very quickly, is Syl from Way of Kings.
Oh, Tinkerbell.
Now, I will say there are characters I literally could have put on here from, like, the Beartown series, from the Greenbone saga. I am quite literally too scared to put characters from series that I haven't finished, because I don't know what is going to happen. What if, like, I've had moments where I'm loving a character and then sometimes they suddenly do this thing and betray everyone and they become an evil character and I hate them. So I am very nervous to put anyone down that I don't know how their story ends. So Syl is a bit of, I feel like I'm safe with Syl. Obviously I haven't finished the Stormlight Archive, but, like, surely we're safe with Syl. She's literally a little fairy. So, and I, like, at the moment, I've been loving her banter with Kaladin, and, like, the fact that she just keeps him in line all the time. Every time he's being, like, dramatic or being, you know, really asserting his power too much and, like, getting a bit of an ego, she, like, fully pulls him back in. It's like, no, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, I don't like this. This isn't good.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Every time, like, a strong female character is, like, a little bit snarky to him, she's always like, I like her.
Yeah. And
Like, I love that.
she's just this, like, ethereal, magical creature, but also she's a girly girl. Like, she will love trying on different outfits and different looks, and she'll be like, ooh, look at me now. And it's just so cute. I love it.
Oh, she's so cute. And she's really such a small character and such a small part of, well, I guess, yeah, such a small part. It's like, oh, she's a big personality, but I guess a small role in the actual Way of Kings. But I feel like she makes such an impact. And again, she's kind of like the comedic relief, but a female version, which is nice. I feel like usually it's a male version, but she's almost like the little female comedic relief, which we love.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one.
But yeah.
I love Syl.
She was, last on my list.
Had to get her in there. All right. I feel like that was a really good list of some wonderful
Yeah.
characters. That was
I
a
think
lot of
this is
fun to
like
talk about.
probably one of the first times we've gone through our list, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of cheated at the end there. We kind of just listed out some of the
Yeah.
last ones, but
But like we got there.
yeah, for context for everyone listening, we usually just run out of time when we record our podcast episodes. We plan
Yeah.
so many different
last week.
things to talk about. Yeah. And it's like, oh, we only got through like a tenth of our list of things we wanted to talk about today,
Yeah.
but it's been an hour. So today we actually got through our entire list, both of us. So
Yeah.
success.
We always underestimate how much we talk
Yeah, we just yap too much.
and the tangents we go on.
Yes. We love the tangents though. But okay, if you guys are still here, I think you guys should comment your favorite characters because I want to know who
Yeah.
your favorite fictional characters are. And also, if you are here, thank you for listening wherever you are in the world or whatever time zone you're in.
Until next time, stay comfy and keep reading.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on socials for more bookish content.
Bye. See you next time.